All right, and there we are live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. We are joined together to read A Course of Miracles, and all right, and there we are live on YouTube. And there I am. Good morning, hear myself everybody. All over again. There we go. The repeating. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to ask someone here to pray us in, and Mickey, would you like to pray us in today?
Sure. I'll croak us in.
And it's the healing. The joining is the healing. So,
Absolutely. And I will be healed, as we'll see. Okay. I'm going to breathe in and let Holy Spirit enter our consciousness here and guide us this morning and say, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me, and I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. Amen.
amen. And knowing we are all healed. As I am healed, you are healed. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And that healing is the truth of what we are. And so I'm so grateful for everyone who joins us here and uh, puts aside the idea that I'm the body, puts aside the idea that I can be hurt by something in the world, and just says, to hell with it all, I'm just going to join. So we're here reading, we're just starting a new section in the chapter 16. And so we're in, it's called The Illusion and the Reality of Love. So this is okay. This is going to be a banger. I'm telling you. This is going to be a banger because this is going to switch around your whole idea of what you think is going on here. Guaranteed. So here we go. Who wants to read paragraph 1? Mickey. Well, Miss Croaky. Let's hear it.
I wasn't going to read this morning because it's, as you can hear, I'm having a little difficulty. But I saw that first sentence and I was like, yeah, this is a banger. Be not afraid to, and we were just talking about looking on our judgments. And that's exactly what this is talking about. Be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationships, for freedom lies in looking at it. And that's the key, I think, is not turning away from, not trying to push it down, not try to avoid it, but looking at it. It would be impossible not to know the meaning of love except for this, for the special love relationship in which the meaning of love is hidden, is undertaken solely to offset the hate, but not to let it go. Your salvation will rise clearly before your open eyes as you look on this. You cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset it, but will merely drive it underground and out of sight. It is essential to bring it into sight and to make no attempt to hide it, for it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. The extent of the split that lies in this you do not realize. And until you do the split, pardon me, and until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. Wow. Every time we make something special, it's the opposite side of the same coin as every time we judge something or hate it. And everything that we idolize and put on a pedestal, all your idols will fall, especially your love relationships. Because if they're special, if it's not universal, if it doesn't include all, it's special. And special hate and special love go hand in hand. And the freedom that we get is from looking at that and acknowledging it and not pushing it away. This special relationship in which the meaning of love is hidden is undertaken solely to offset hate. We just we're walking barrels of judgment. As long as we're still in bodies, as long as we still identify with this personality, with this identity, we're going to have some things we love and some things we hate. and those things that we love can turn into hate very easily. Go out, buy a new car. Oh, nice new shiny car. The minute that transmission goes, you're going to hate it. Oh, I bought a lemon. I hate this car. It's every idol that we have. Your salvation will rise clearly before your open eyes as you look on this. And I gotta say, I'm looking at it. I'm waiting for salvation here. How much more do I have to look at this? Okay, I'll pass to somebody else.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah. Well, yes, and honestly, isn't that Deb was talking about this earlier, that and it completely, absolutely jives with me about this with nonviolent communication. We're raised in a culture where we're taught to reject everything. We're taught to look at things and say, that's not quite right. That's not what I like. That's not what I want. He's not doing what I think is a good thing. They're, yeah, he's nice looking, okay, but he's really kind of dumb. Or, I mean, there's always some hateful thought, even amongst the most beautiful things that we have. I love this baby. This baby's the sweetest thing in the world. I love her, love her, love her. Oh, but oh my God, when she won't go to sleep at night and she screams and cries, or when she's sick and has a fever and I'm feeling guilty because I'm a bad mom. And I mean, there is no love relationship when we have all these exceptions to love. And Course tells us love makes no exceptions. A real love doesn't object to anything. So these special hate relationship, not necessarily just a hate relationship. I have a love-hate relationship with my body. I have a love-hate relationship with my job. I have a love. What the hell is a love-hate relationship? This is exactly what Jesus is talking about here. It is it is the thing you love to hate. Uh, and it could be, I mean, it's everything. So yes, unless we look at these things and recognize that there is no reason, no purpose to any of it. I talk about my sister a lot, and she's um, right now she's in rehab for having had uh, open heart surgery, and she's been through hell with her health, and it's uh, I cannot remember a time of ever like going to a restaurant with her where she didn't send back her food at least once, sometimes twice. She is never satisfied about anything. And it's hell. It's hell to hang out with her because no matter how wonderful the situation may be, she is always going to find the most negative thing about it, and not just keep it to herself and be upset. Everybody's got to know about this upset, whatever it is. And for me, I'm like, the waiter could bring me, soup that's bath water, and I'm not going to turn it back. I'm not going to I'm not going to say, because I grew up thinking I had to be compliant to everything. I had to be careful and not offend. And actually I came to a point where I just really don't even care now. I'm thrilled somebody's bringing me food. I'm excited, somebody comes up and refills my coffee. Oh my Lord, am I just in heaven or what? That so of course, I'm, thinking I'm so much greater. No, there's other things that I reject on a regular basis as well. Lots of stuff I reject. I look at news and politics, and man, I'm like up in arms. I look at this stuff, that they're going on about the Epstein files. Oh my Lord. If even a tenth of this is true, it's horrific. And it's not that I didn't know this stuff was going on. I just didn't want it in my face. So these are special hate relationships that we have with everything, everything in the world, because you can't love the thing that's blocking your access to God. You can't possibly love the thing that's blocking the access to truth. So it's always going to make you unhappy. The body's going to piss you off. Then it's going to make you sick, and then it's going to kill you. Believe me, the ego's not your friend. So looking at these special hate relationships is so important. But first, you have to accept that you have them. I have special hate related, lots of them. All right. Every thought I think, I'm thinking of something that upsets me in some way or another. So it would be impossible not to know the meaning of love except for this. Why? Because I've said I don't want to know. I'm rejecting it. I don't like it. For the special love relationship in which the meaning of love is hidden is undertaken solely to offset the hate, but not to let it go. So this is how we go through the world. I love the baby, but I hate the crying. I love the man, but I hate the cheating, or whatever it is. There's always a but in everything that we specially love. I love the flowers, but I hate when they die and the petals fall on the floor. If you don't love it all, if you don't love all of it, then you're hiding this hate. And he says, your salvation will rise clearly before your open eyes as you look on this. You cannot limit hate. Oh, there's one of those 4-word sentences that Dove's always pointing out. You cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset it, but will merely drive it underground and out of sight. This is why we have to bring it up and look at it to let it go. We can't just leave it. Oh, that's just a thought. I'm going to let it go. No, you have to look at it because otherwise it is driven out underground and out of sight. It is essential to bring it into sight and to make no attempt to hide it. For it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. The extent of the split that lies in this you do not realize, and it is vast. And until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. So this is the key to the healing of the mind, is to look on these special hate relationships and to let them go when we recognize that they have no value to me. It's not valuable to me at all. Kathy, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. This for me is so loaded. Um, I guess in my heart, I have been begging, and I'm asking myself, I'm watching this, okay, what does this mean? But in my heart, I have felt there's been all this cover up. Possibly, with 12 steps, when I walked into Al-Anon, it was, we're only as sick as our secrets. That was the first thing that hit me. And because I couldn't walk in those rooms for the shame, to honor my family, God forbid we do that. And not until 50 did I. But I have felt this is what is needed. I've been waiting for it, knowing. And maybe that's just because of the sickness in me. As I'm saying this to you, I'm wanting to be aware of what I'm saying. But thank God for the uncovering. And I think for me, the difference has been forever and ever. It's allowing us to let that up and out, but we must see it through an unconditional love. And that's the difference. We understand unconditional love. A mother gets it. They love you no matter what, or my experience, I'll take that back. However, the experience is in my heart. My loved ones could do nothing ever that I would not still love them, as difficult, as some may think that is. And we know in the Course they're saying that, to love Hitler, to love the T word or whatever. But it's really, truly in sharing, trusting in, please bring it up and out and let us receive it in that unconditional love. So then, it's an opportunity to bring us all together and to quit the pointing fingers and the shame, blame, back and forth, back and forth. That just keeps us sick. And that monster in the closet just keeps getting bigger. But it takes tremendous courage, as I say, to walk in the rooms, to be here, to do whatever it is. But that is it. I need to let it out and be able to watch it without the judgment. It's huge, huge. I wanted to ask you, Lynn, I have a couple different versions. So I've always had the foundation from Inner Peace, but I also have the sparkly edition. Is it, I know everyone has different opinions and judgments on all of that too. Is it truly more of the original before the editing, or I've been wanting to ask.
Well, no, I mean, it is just it's yeah, it is before they went through and put it into the format that it's in now. They did rearrange some things, always asking Jesus the whole time, is this how it should be? Because remember, Helen didn't even really hear words. What Helen heard was thoughts and ideas, which she put into the words. And that's why the words themselves reflect, psychology, Shakespeare, all the things that Helen loved and paid attention to are, basically how the course is worded. And as we were reading on Saturday morning with Bruce on the Symphony of Love, when Ken came along and they wanted to get the thing ready for publication because it hadn't been published. It wasn't published in that that edition that we call the sparkly or the original or whatever you want to call it, they had made a few books themselves and gave them out to different people. And that's one of the reasons why the copyright was voided, was because they already had, get, given a wide distribution of it. But the way that it was done was that, they gave a few people, one of them being Hewlin Casey at the ARE, that they gave Hewlin Casey one of them, and Hewlin had it there in his archive. And someone took it out of his archive and took it over to Kinko's and made copies, and then that became the sparkly edition. Basically, was from the copies from the one that Hewlin had, but then uh, they wanted to make it ready for publication, basically. And so they went through and kind of put things together in a more concise way. Bill thought there should only be 50 miracle principles. So they combined the miracle principles to make 50 of them. If you look in the Sparkly, you're going to see that there are more than 50 and they're
Yep.
arranged differently.
Right.
But Bill thought 50 was good. So they went through and made it that way. Um, they took out more of the personal information, and Jesus told them that, basically anything that has to do with anything your personal life, shouldn't be in there. So they took that out. Jesus said, only use the soul. I mean, he actually, this is one of the, in the, I think the clarification of terms, only use the word soul when it comes to biblical things. But the rest of the time, when you're talking about the reality of what you are, use the word spirit so people don't get confused. And so they took out that, and they did these things, but under complete instruction and discussion with Jesus through the whole time. So the foundation version is the one that Jesus, in my mind, and in their minds, said this is the one to publish. That's the one they published. Other people published other versions. So that's why you have the original edition from the Course of Miracles Society, and you have the Sparkly, which came from Teddy. You have the Urtext and other things that were, Doug Monkton and Doug, can't remember the other Doug's name. Anyway, they they have the Urtext. There's many different versions, and now you have Robert Perry, who said, "Oh, I don't believe any of this stuff that Helen and Bill and Ken said about Jesus telling them to do this. I'm going to put everything back the way I think it should be." And so Robert Perry himself took upon to rewrite the whole course. Uh, and essentially, in my mind, all these people were saying Helen and Bill and Ken were lying about the editing. And
Mm.
that's the reason I only go with the foundation, because
Okay.
I will not side with people saying that Helen lied, that Bill
Mm.
lied, that Ken lied. If they said Jesus told them take this out, I believe it. Or Jesus
Mhm.
told them put this in, I believe it. So,
Mhm.
because there's some
I,
stuff that Jesus told them put in that was not originally in there. So, Mickey, yes, please go ahead.
Oh, what a juicy topic. Basically, Kathy, I think what it boils down to, and I think there's one workshop that Prudence played um, last year at some point, and I wish I could remember what it was, but somebody asked Ken about all the different versions. And he spent about a half an hour telling the story that Lynn just did, um, and going into all the different versions. and blah, blah, this and that. And, where the copyright got broken. And then at the very end, he said, but it doesn't matter. You go read whichever course, whichever version of it sings to you. Go read whichever one he didn't say sings, I just made that up. I think he said whatever version speaks to you, that's the one you should read. Whichever one, and now I'm paraphrasing greatly, whichever one gets you to where you need to be, that's the one you ought to read. And I have tried all of them.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure I, so yeah, I've tried the one with the pearls on the cover. I've tried Robert Perry's version. I've tried the sparkly. I've tried the Urtext. I I think I've pretty much covered. There's one that Dave Fair put out that I haven't gotten a hold of that, and I don't care to anymore because I tried all these other ones, and I keep coming back to this version that we're reading right here
Mhm.
because this is the one that sings to me.
Mhm.
This is the one that when I read it, my heart swells. And the other ones, I try and read them and I get a thud. It
Mhm.
falls flat on the floor.
Mhm.
There is nothing singing. But when I read this one, it feels like the angels are speaking to me. It feels like God is talking directly to me. And so this is what I stick with.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I don't I don't bother with the other ones except for there's a local group with people whom I love, and they decided that they were going to read um, the Robert Perry version,
Mhm.
and we've been sticking with it for 2 years now. And we have all said at various times, this is the only time we're ever going to do this. But we've dedicated ourselves to it, and we're sticking to it. But and we've gotten to, I think, after chapter 6 or so, they're pretty much the same with very few variations. But you know, you go with whatever is going to get through to you the
Wow.
best way. And that's
Right.
all. That's the only way you decide.
Thank you for that. First of all, I apologize for anyone if I'm taking us off topic,
No,
but
no, that's
I
fine.
wanted to ask this question because I had, I've listened to Robert Perry, and they really have been pushing, to join in the membership and the whole thing, and then Sparkly came up. My one of my nicknames has been Sparkles, but what caught my eye was the light on the ocean, and that's where a lot of communication has come to me on a deck, looking out at the sunset and having the sparkles from the ocean. There's something so powerful there, so it caught my eye. I thought, okay, and if someone judges it that kind, sometimes will be my curiosity, but at the same time, it reminds me of life because there's so many different opinions. And for me, I would follow. There was one that I would follow, but there were always so many. And if I felt that person was making a judgment, making the other one wrong, that never felt right in my heart because I go, wait a minute, that's a judgment thing, right? And I would become so split trying to follow, whether I go to learn how to ride a horse. My God, every trainer is absolute. This is the way. And so, you're going there and then you're going, oh my God, no. Well, I always want to go, okay, what's the right one? And it's following, all my life, honoring, those that raise you and are telling you one thing, and in your heart you're going, if it's a judgment thing, then doggone it, I'm not sure, how it feels. The foundation feels in my hand, in my heart. I feel it. I feel it. I've known it in my hands from a baby in a crib, I swear. but I was curious and wanted to explore, but I so much wanted to ask that question. And so you did that. Thank you very much.
And we just lost Lynn. I
Yeah.
think I think her internet must have gone out. But Kathy, you mentioned something that I think is a very important distinction for me. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna put this on anybody else, but if somebody is pushing their agenda to um, make money, it's an immediate turnoff for me. If somebody is pushing their agenda in order to make somebody else wrong, it's immediately a turnoff for me. So those are, you know, those are judgments on my part. Um,
But thank you
but
for that, because that's exactly what pushed me away. You know, I was
yeah,
curious. I want to be open, as I know there's always these different opinions.
but
And yet,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And that was what I came down to. Absolutely.
yeah,
But again, not to make anybody wrong. It's just my comfort.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But you landed on, ultimately, you landed on what was the valid, um, oh, I just lost the word. It went out of my head. The valid reasoning for anything that we do. You said it spoke to your heart.
Mhm,
And and that's when you know it's the right thing.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm,
I hear
Lynn
that.
is calling me. I'm
I
gonna mute.
love that,
Somebody
Mickey.
else
Thank
talk.
you. Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, I think I'll add a little bit to the conversation. This is Deb, and certain writers will resonate with me, and I will be sure, like, because I do Facebook, and I have a million groups all related to A Course in Miracles, and some of them will speak directly to me, and it will resonate as truth. And other times I have found myself, like when someone has written a quote attributed to ACIM, I've gone to the foundation and looked it up, and it is not in the book. So I I know that, and I also think that from learning this course, nothing outside myself can tell me the truth of me. Nothing outside myself will give me the answers. It is all within me and always has been and always will be. And I was very, very promiscuous with teachers and, like, following this, then following that, following this, then following that, and not getting relief from the egoic self, the belief system, until I started getting quiet, until I started really going within and practicing this course the way it's written, rules for decision. I make no decisions by myself. And just it's like it's feeding something in a different way than it ever has before. And I'm just grateful. But I love the Course in Miracles conversation. I love some of the banter back and forth. I can't even imagine what it was like in 1980, and meeting so many of the people who were in it back then. Now I'm like, oh, what if, it must have been a hootenanny back then. But I don't, I don't know what all that means, because there's nothing outside of me. And sharing is healing me. I spent many, many years in recovery, many, many years trying to figure this out on my own. And it doesn't heal the way truly coming together, like truly speaking from our hearts, truly disclosing, because as Dove says, we're only teaching ourselves. And when it's said out loud and it's really truth, it's amazing.
what can open within myself. The other point, though, is when I speak out loud and I think afterwards, oh my gosh, that was on YouTube. I don't want young children doing that. I don't, there's a fear thing there, which I know is part of this recognition that I have been led by that ego for so long, driven by it, honestly driven by it to create problems continuously. This is from Journey Back. Every response to the ego is a call to war, and war does deprive you of peace. Yet, in this war, there's no opponent. This is the reinterpretation of reality you must make to secure peace, the only one you ever need to make. And, this is it. This is it. I believe in this. I believe in heaven. I believe in this peaceful place within me. I believe in sharing with all of you. Lynn's back, and sometimes I go off on tangents, but the most important thing I know from other teachers is that I have to pull it inside myself and ask if it's true. Otherwise, I'm just enjoying your company. I'm not expecting anything from a teacher anymore. There's no guru. And that is holy ground, to recognize that. I don't have to pay money to go somewhere. I could just sit right here and accomplish it. It's so beautiful to me. Thank you.
Oh, Deb, can I respond to that? I love your words. Everything you just shared, and it was in the 12 steps. So I love A Course in Miracles, and I really blend it with the 12 step. The 12 step, I think, brought me back to my heart, which then brought me to A Course in Miracles, because it's only through the heart. My heart was so frozen and what have you. But the beauty is, and of course, living in the life of that environment of the elephant in the room when you couldn't speak your truth or couldn't ask, or if you were asked to tell your truth, and yet in that thought of, oh my God, if you tell your truth then punishment comes, right? How do we get to the truth? And back full circle to where we are today and this uncovering of what's going on. It's the only way. But trusting the love. And you shared so much love, and I feel that. Truly, I feel it from everyone in this group, and I just keep saying, thank you, God, thank you, God. I finally got to get here, because I've been feeling so all alone, because the rest of the world, I'd expose and go, God, could you read the Course in Miracles with me? Would you do this, please? And it just is one of those, as they say, the story goes, it can sit there forever, and maybe one day they pick it up, or it's not their path. God, I've hoped to have someone, and now I do. So I'm so grateful for that. But it's absolutely beautiful. And your photo for where you have the name, that is a memory of that sunset on the ocean. It's pretty remarkable, because I know that one well. So thank you for being here and sharing, and all the loving words I hear. Thank you.
This is me, Lynn. Can you hear me? I don't know if
Yes.
okay. I don't know. I don't know how to operate this on my phone, so I just figured out how to actually pick up the mic, which I just have to get educated on doing this. So Mickey, I made you the host, so you can close this out. It looks like I'm going to have an outage from our area where they're doing I don't know, they're doing some work here. So anyway, so I'm going to let you do your close the room out whenever you're ready, or you can just go up to the top and close out the YouTube, and you guys can keep chatting all you want. So
Last
I'm looking.
time Mickey couldn't do that. Let's see if
Well, I
she
made
can
her the host
try.
now. I made
Oh,
her
Okay.
the
she made me
host.
the host, and there's a way to stop YouTube.
Yeah.
Stop
Yay.
it
So
then.
Okay,
yeah.
so we're going to close this